If you're experiencing a mental health crisis or thoughts of suicide, dial 988. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Listen to the man who tells you exactly how he sees it. The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time! It's time! It's Beta time!
You are watching a master at work.
Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace.
Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace, and we're coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talking text line. Again, it is 833-212-1017. That's the Truth Talking text line. We can call in and text in and share any of your thoughts on today's show. You can also watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That is 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Where you give us a like, give us a share, you give us a subscribe so you don't miss any of your favorite award-winning 1017 The Truth shows. Shout out to DJ Brother Z holding it down on the ones and the twos. And shout out to you, Truth Nation. I'm back. We had an impromptu meeting yesterday at noon, so I was told I wasn't going on air, so I'm back today. I am back today. So very, very excited. Ooh, we got pizza upstairs. Gonna have to get me a slice. But Truth Nation, yeah, shout out to y'all. We'll talk. We'll talk next week. Very exciting news, but we'll get to that next week. I know, but I'm not talking about it until next week when I have more information. But with that being said, Truth Nation, off the top today, I just want to get into something that was on my mind.
Y'all know what time it is. It's time for Off the Top on Truth to Power. Kyle, let Truth Nation know what you got to get off your chest today.
So one thing I will say is I'm tired. So I come to work sick. Now, some people may disagree with that, but, I try to separate myself from people. But I come to work because I love working. And one thing I'm tired of everybody around me talking about, ooh, you sound funny. Ooh, you don't sound too good, or you look like crap. They sent me home on Wednesday. Literally, I did my show here, and I was ready to, I got sent home Wednesday. I was
like, where's Kyle?
Yeah, no, I was sitting there, I was chilling. I was like, hey, we're going to do the show. But then one of my co-hosts talking about, well, 'cause I said, I'm good. Well, if I don't want to get sick and my kids and my wife. I said, listen, if you scared, then it is what it is, and I'll go home. But do understand that I'm good to be here. There's a difference between taking a sick half day and being sent home. That's what I told him. I said, listen, I'm willing to stay. But if y'all feel uncomfortable, then that's fine. What's crazy to me is that because other people feel uncomfortable, which is fine, I oblige. But it's crazy when it comes to voting and when it comes to thinking about people's rights to choose what they want to do, people's rights to choose what they want to support, people's rights to choose what they want to do with their own body. oh, then it's a problem. When, you know, oh, then when you disagree with it, it's a problem. But if everybody thought like Kyle Walls, it'll be a better world. Yeah, I said it. But Truth Nation, no, that's not true. No, listen, if everybody thought like me, it will be a better world. People will come to work. People will work hard. People wouldn't. Well, I complain a little bit. I keep it real. I keep it 100. I'm very courteous. I'm very nice, but I keep it real. But also, people will work hard. That's one thing they would do. But Truth Nation, off the top today, my mind was triggered. Now, the Michael Jackson movie came out last week. Shout out to MJ. I love me some Michael. Oh, you don't know nothing about MJ. When I say I love me some Michael, I'm talking about when I had you to myself, I didn't want you around. Those pretty faces always made you stand out in the crowd. Like, I love me Michael. Or stop the love you say may be your own. Darling, take it slow, or someday you'll be all alone. Like, I love me some Michael. I love me some young Michael. Tell him that it's human nature. Why does he do it that way? And I say, like, I mean, rock with you. I can keep going. Like, I love me some. There was 2 MJs that I loved growing up. I love me some Michael Jordan, and I love me some Michael Jackson. That was my childhood. Now, I heard a lot of people talking about how they loved the movie, and some people said it was just okay. But regardless, I am a MJ fan. And what a time to be alive. It really was a great time to be alive growing up as a kid where your idols were Michael Jordan and Michael Jackson. I'm telling you, MJ was the thing. But recently I saw a clip on social media. I saw a clip on social media, and it was Michael Jackson's daughter. I saw a clip of Michael Jackson's daughter, and she has some very strong opinions about the movie that portrayed her dad. Now, she said, you know, she was going to keep her thoughts to herself. She said she got a lot of strong thoughts and how things were depicted and this and that. But she decided that she, you know, hey, I'm just going to keep it to myself. Now, she has every right to do that. But beyond her opinions, something that caught me off guard, it caught my attention. Not so much off guard, but just caught my attention. It was her appearance. So I said, I done seen Paris before. Beautiful girl. I done seen her before. But I said, well, let me go ahead and just Google more about Paris Jackson. So I did, you know, the old Googles of Paris. And I looked at Paris, and again, like, I understand that MJ was and forever will be her dad. He will, listen, that is her daddy. MJ is her father. That is the man that raised her. Her grandparents is MJ's parents. Like, that is her father. I get it. I really do. But was it really her dad? Like, that's the question I have after looking at Paris Jackson. Was that, you go on 1017 The Truth on YouTube to see a picture of Paris Jackson. Again, a beautiful young lady. Had I seen her walking down the street a decade ago, I would say, ma'am. I wouldn't say, ma'am. I'd say, damn, girl, who is you? Or I'm like, ooh. But that's not me no more. But what I'm saying is that really her dad? Because, I mean, I get it, that's her father, but like D and Tess confirmed father. Maury style, you are not the father, or you are the father. Go to YouTube again to see Paris Jackson. Again, beautiful woman, no doubt. Go to YouTube, 1017 The Truth on YouTube to see the picture, or if you not by YouTube, you're on the 1017 The Truth app that you can download in the App Store, or you're on the radio and you're not driving, you can go ahead and just Google Paris Jackson and get a good look at her. But I asked somebody this, and they said, what do you mean? I said, that don't look like Mike. They said, have you seen Michael Jackson before? I said, yeah, the real Michael Jackson. See, the problem is that this woman here, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, Paris Jackson look white, okay? She look like a white woman. That is a white woman to me, all right? She don't look like she got no type of melanin in her blood. She look like a blonde hair, blue-eyed white woman. Listen, to be honest, I don't know. It's hard for me to sit up here and look at Paris Jackson and say, I support this black queen. DJ Brother, when you see her, do you say that's a black queen? That's what I'm saying. It's hard for me to say I support this black queen when she's talking. Now, again, maybe She is, she's a queen for sure. But I don't know about Black Truth Nation. I don't know about Black Queen. I can't I support Paris Jackson, and that's her father. But hell, y'all can't tell me that. Somebody gonna tell me, have you seen Michael before? I said, yeah. Michael was light. I said, no. Michael had a skin condition. Michael was not light. He had a skin condition. Your kids ain't just born based off your skin condition. How all your cousins dark, but you light? You look like you damn from...
I mean, that's how genetics work, though.
No, genetics don't work. If I got a skin condition, my kid was born with the skin condition where her whole skin is just white. Stop.
That is a very high possibility.
She would have the condition which would make her pigment have issues. She would have pigmentation issues.
Therefore, she's born white.
No. Her pigment would be off. Michael pigment was off. Then he bleached himself. He had bad pigment. You better Google Michael Jackson little something. It's not Vertigo.
Versace.
It's something with a V. Wasn't Vertigo.
Vertigo or something.
Vertigo something. So I'm just saying, I love me some MJ, but when I saw this quote-unquote Black Queen up there talking about her dad, I said, that can't be her daddy. Michael ain't her daddy. 833-212-1017. Are these really Michael kids? I really want to know. What for who love MJ? I'm very curious. 833-212-1017. Do y'all think these is really Michael Jackson kids? Or has this woman been living a lie her entire life? 833-212-1017. Is this really a Black Queen? Again, listen, karma may come to bite me in the ass one day. Because listen, if Kyle Wall's babies come out blonde hair, blue eyed, tell me, I'm gonna be mad. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be mad as hell. I'm gonna be salty and mad as hell. I tell you that right now.
I have hair like me.
Mad as hell. I'm like, God dang it. Dag nabbit. Listen, I keep it real. I'll be so damn mad. I'm like, ah. But again, her going around talking about she Black, it just seems a little disingenuous to me. I don't know. I really don't know. But also, when it comes to these celebrities, at what point, I do want to discuss this, at what point do we forgive them and at what point do we move on? Because when I think about the legacy and the story of Michael Jackson, and I cannot wait to go see the movie because y'all. When I say I was a big fan of MJ, I was a very big fan of MJ. Growing up as a kid, my mom's dang near MJ's age, and my auntie was after MJ, so she grew up loving MJ. So being a 90s kid, remember, my parents and family was born in the 50s and all that. So when you born in the 50s and Michael coming out in the 70s, they kids too. You know what I'm saying? That's like me with Lil Bow Wow, Lil Romeo, you know what I'm saying? And Chris Brown. You know, like these all, when they were kids, I was a kid. So you kind of just grew this affinity for what their music was and what your attachment was to their music to this day. And that's the same thing that they face. And so I grew up absolutely adoring and loving the Jackson 5. My auntie called into the radio station. It might have been V100 back in the day. Back in like the late 80s, I think it was. I believe either late 80s or early 90s where she won tickets to see. I don't know the full story. But all I know is she won like this 5-disc set of the Jackson 5 music. And I remember my brother ended up breaking one of the discs. Oh, she was hurt. But it was a cold-looking disc set. My parents went to go see Michael Jackson at the Bradley Center, I believe, one time. And I think it was Luther Vandross they got a box for. But like my family love MJ. They really do. And so my whole thing is that I grew up with this. I grew up with this this sense of supporting folks who I appreciate. And so with Michael Jackson, I think about the fact that at what point do we forgive our celebrities and move on? And does Michael Jackson even, was he the person that even had to forgive? Because when you look at some of the facts in the history, Michael's accused of all these different sexual assaults, but was actually never found guilty in a court of law. FBI files showed that they monitored Jackson regarding allegations of child sexual abuse, and FBI even assisted local California law enforcement with these investigations, but the investigations found that there was no evidence of criminal conduct on Michael Jackson's part. Jackson's home was searched, and he was tried in 2005 on child molestation charges where he was found not guilty on all counts. But still to this day, people call him a child predator. They call him a molester. They call him Chester the molester. They call him all these different things. When in reality, Michael Jackson was never found guilty of doing any of this. So at what point do we stop accusing him? Or we start accusing these folks of something the court and the FBI cannot confirm that he did? 833-212-1017. At what point do we start either using the court of law or forgiving people. The same thing with OJ. Listen, I don't know if OJ did it or not. I was too young to understand everything with it. But what I do know is the court of law said no. Now, OJ did some dumb stuff after. If I was acquitted of murder, I would not write a book that said if I did it. I would not do that. That's not something I would do. But so at what point do we clear these people's names when they weren't found guilty? I get it. Like, yeah, Michael Jackson paid out some folks for different things, but, you know, a lot of times people pay people off just to be over with it. You may not even feel you did something wrong. Shannon Sharp's a great example. I still to this day don't believe Shannon Sharp did nothing wrong. But Shannon Sharp paid that woman millions of dollars because he didn't want to have to deal with it. He just wanted it to go away. And when you're rich, a lot of times it's better just to pay for people to have it go away than versus trying to people tarnish your reputation. Again, I was not there. I do not know. But I do know based off everything that is official, and I can just go off official things, Truth Nation, is that he was accused of certain stuff. He was monitored over a span of many different years by the FBI and monitored by, you know, local California law enforcement, and they were never able to find enough evidence to find him criminally guilty of anything. So again, at what point do we stop tarnishing somebody's legacy? Because that was a big deal where people said, oh, the movie stopped in like 1989 before the allegations of child molestation and misconduct happened. And maybe there was a reason why they stopped it at that time. I have not seen the movie. I do not know. But what I do know is, yes, that is part of Michael Jackson's journey. But to sit here and call somebody a pedophile, a child molester, and all these different names, when in a court of law that is built to basically try to find people guilty of crimes, he was found not guilty. I'm going to make it, y'all. He was found not guilty. So how am I going to go around trying to tarnish somebody's legacy when he was not found guilty of these acts? But 833-212-1017, those are the two questions I have for you. I want to believe whether or not, at what point do we stop criticizing these famous people for things they were not found guilty of? And also, do y'all think these Michael Jackson kids, 833-212-1017, that's the Truth Talking text line. I'll take your calls. I'll take your texts. We'll continue this conversation on the other side as we're going to have some fun today on Friday. It's been a long week, busy week, but we're going to have some fun on Friday today on Truth to Power with Kyle Wall. So make sure you keep it locked, and we'll have more conversation coming up next.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Truth Nation, it's your boy Tory Lowe, and I need to let you know the award-winning Tory Lowe Show can now be streamed live on YouTube. How? Every day from 1 to 4. Truth Nation, I am now bringing all the smoke on YouTube every single weekday. Hey, how? I need you to go to YouTube right now and subscribe to 1017 The Truth and check out the award-winning Tory Lowe Show live every afternoon. Milwaukee Black Talk is now streaming live on YouTube. Now that's powerful.
At UW Credit Union, we have best-in-class technology and peopleology. Like if you lose your card, you can stop by in-branch for a same-day replacement, or you can have a new one instantly issued to the app. So whether you prefer interacting with our snappy online interface or our in-person regular faces, UW Credit Union is always here for every you. And whichever you choose, it's the best of both worlds. Join today at uwcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
It's a spring thing, Milwaukee. Join us Saturday, May 2nd from 11 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. at Embassy Center MKE, 3725 North Sherman Boulevard. This free family community resource fair is for ages 0 to 100. Get free diapers, baby wipes, groceries, haircuts while supplies last. Don't miss baby food prep classes and powerful maternal health speakers, Bishop Walter Harvey and Dalvery Blackwell. Doors open at 10:30. Come early. It's a spring thing. Don't miss it.
You're a hard worker. Provide for your family and help out in your community. You've been there for so many others. But when life challenges you, when rising costs, unexpected repairs, medical bills, or simply a rough stretch make it hard to keep up on a limited or low income, you're not alone. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency assistance providers are here for you, working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. If you're struggling with high utility bills, facing a disconnect notice, or dealing with a furnace emergency and your limited or low income isn't enough? Support is available. Visit www.heat.help or call 1-800-506-5596 to apply for a hand up.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I'm your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Walsh, and we're coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. Light day today, and I was just pondering some stuff off the top of the dome ski. Because the Michael Jackson movie came out last week. I cannot wait to see the movie, but something that came across my mind is I saw Paris Jackson, the daughter of Michael Jackson. Yes, that is his daughter. It is his daughter. Legally, yes. Biologically, I don't know. And I saw it. I said, this woman looked like a white woman. And I was just like, it was hard for me to call her a black queen when she looked like a white queen. But, ain't nothing wrong with being a white queen. But I was just saying this kind of, I feel like this woman who identifies as black might be living a lie. And I wanted to hear from y'all, 833-212-1017 on that. But in addition to that, I did have questions overall about the attacks on Michael Jackson's legacy, because with this movie, there has been people have reignited the controversy around the troubled past of Michael Jackson. Now, I understand that Michael Jackson was accused of some egregious and disgusting things. He was accused of it. And then he went to the court of law and he was found not guilty of some of these disgusting things. Now, I understand there's some payments and things, but a lot of times, again, some people say it's hush money. Some people say it's just, I don't want to have to deal with it. I do not know. But what I do know is he was accused of these things. The FBI investigated it. California law enforcement investigated it. There was not enough evidence in order to find him guilty. So at what point do we stop trying to tarnish somebody's legacy? Mike has been gone for almost 20 years. For almost 20 years, and we're still talking about some of the things in his past that he was accused of, which is rightfully so. Rightfully so. But also when you talk about these accusations, you have to talk about the acquittal. You can't continue to label somebody to be a child molester or a child predator if he was never deemed guilty of any of those actions. 833-212-1017, that's the Truth Talking text line. You can also watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. But Joshua and Kenosha, what are your thoughts on today's conversation?
Hey, Kyle, happy Friday. First and
Happy
foremost,
Friday.
Without any credible speculation or counter-argument, I can't say that those are not Michael Jackson's kids. And without knowing the mother's genetics, again, that just adds to that. June 25th will be 17 years since Michael passed. We should have never criticized anything after it was come out that he was found not guilty. You don't get to defame people's character when they've been proven not guilty in a court. I did see the movie. I thought it was pretty well done. I thought his nephew did a great job portraying him. A little disappointed it ends the way it ends, but I guess there's talk of a second movie. I don't know if that's true, but I'd like to add that with the allegations against him, even after that stuff was concluded, there was never anything that happened after that to reignite those rumors or allegations. And Macaulay Culkin came out and said that Michael Jackson never did anything and that he was trying to protect him from people like Epstein and others that are high-profile pedophiles that are well-known. So if you want to call it a conspiracy theorist, I think that Michael was taken out along with others to cover up stuff like Epstein.
You know what? I would have called a year ago, Josh. I would have called you a conspiracy theory. Matter of fact, I remember last year in June is when I was at a golf event, and I remember when I started all of a sudden, trying to figure out what was going on, because that is when it became not official, but that's when Elon Musk said Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's why he doesn't want to be released. And at that point, I was like, oh, there's something bigger here. So I appreciate you, Josh. I appreciate you chiming in as well. Thank you. As we're having a conversation talking about the fact that at what point do you stop tarnishing somebody's legacy? Right, and I understand, yes, I may be biased to Michael Jackson because I'm a supporter of Michael Jackson. But if Michael Jackson was found guilty of doing something, then you know what? Then I would not support him. I loved R. Kelly music, but him as a person, he's a slime ball. P. Diddy enjoyed his music, but you know what? He turned out to be a weirdo. Chris Brown, I really enjoy Chris Brown music. But Chris Brown, I saw what he did to Rihanna. Like, I literally saw the result of what he did to Rihanna. So to this day, he gets a lot of heat, and I don't defend him. I would never defend Chris Brown. He's a woman beater. Because not only did he beat Rihanna, it is alleged that he also may have assaulted Karrueche. So again, I don't support stuff like that. I can enjoy the music, but I would never support the man. And with Michael Jackson, there's nothing that has been proven that Michael Jackson did this. But then when it comes to his kids and his daughter, this is what I will say. Somebody said on YouTube, again, you can watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Somebody said, that is Michael Jackson's kids. There was a DNA test. Prove it. Show me the facts. Because when I looked it up, there is no public or verified record that Paris Jackson has taken or released a DNA test to confirm her biological parent. So I don't know where y'all get this from, but if you got an article or some facts you can share that this is her daughter, this is his daughter, shout out to you. But I would love for you to share that. But 833, until then, I can't call her Black Queen, but 833-212-1017. Robert in Milwaukee, what are your thoughts on MJ?
Hey, Carl, you know what? All praise be to the Most High, but brother, you got it right. Now, I'm old enough to remember on TMZ, and with one of those shows, they showed the biological mother of his daughter, and she was adopted. She was adopted, and you can look at her and tell, even if he donated his semen to have her impregnated without having any sex, you would see some trace of melanin in her. I don't care how you mix the tea. If it's got black, you're going to know some type of black is in there. And I also want to say, I also want to say that Michael Jackson was politically and socially framed by Sony because they wanted to buy the rights for the Beatles and all those back from him, and he wouldn't sell them, and they were mad. So the best way to hurt someone that has a lot of money is to publicly shame them, because if he was the average man that didn't have money, they just sent him to jail. But they couldn't do that because he had too much money. But you are absolutely right, and you don't have to be a rocket scientist to look at that girl to tell there's no melanin in her whatsoever.
There it is. There it is. That's all I'm saying, is that I'm not denying that is her father. You can be adopted or anything. But I'm just saying, going around, I mean, Rachel Dolezal, the woman who was white who turned into a black woman, quote unquote, she was living a lie. Y'all jumped down her throat. But now Paris Jackson could be living a lie. Y'all ain't mad. You can watch the streamers live on YouTube, and Dr. Ken is in the chat. He said, as long as his family accepts her as his daughter, why is it anyone's business? Okay, Ken, so you calling her a black queen? Is that what you said, Dr. Ken? Go ahead and chat in that. That's all I'm saying. Somebody said, blanket, well, I assume he is grown now. So comforter, he looks like MJ. He does look a little bit more like Michael. I don't know. I really don't know. But the moral of the story for me, Truth Nation, is this. I was just curious on how some of the other folks felt about this, because it is always odd for me to kind of just see his daughter say things, knowing that this young woman is not, that's not his blood daughter, but that is his father, that is his daughter. You don't need to be blood in order to be somebody's daughter. But I don't think she should be walking around saying she is 100%, saying she a black queen, because that's definitely something she ain't. And somebody said on the Truth Talking text line at 833-212-1017, Fonzo said, I just seen the picture. Absolutely not. She looks 100% Caucasian. I agree. But also something else somebody said is, are you talking about Trump or MJ? That's a good comment. Because you know what's interesting, as somebody said on YouTube as well, you can watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube and give us a like, a share, and a subscribe. A lot of people criticize Michael Jackson. A lot of people talk bad about Michael Jackson. A lot of people say, oh, we shouldn't play any of his music. But meanwhile, you got somebody like Donald Trump, who is the current president of the United States of America, who was also accused by multiple women of sexual misconduct, and y'all turned a blind eye to it. Now, has Donald Trump ever been convicted? No. But Donald Trump has paid people off. He's paid off strippers. He's given money to folks for hush money. He's had multiple baby mamas. Like, he has this weird track record, but a lot of y'all turn a blind eye to it. So, again, if y'all going to judge people, let's judge people equally. But 833-212-1017, that's the Truth Talking text line. Ken said, I got a great comeback, but it's your show. Wait a minute, Ken, you ain't got... Ken, you got a great comeback. Please, let me know your comeback to Michael Jackson having a full-blown 100%... Well, I shouldn't say she's full-blown 100%. But that ain't Michael Jackson's seed. That didn't come out of Michael Jackson. You know that. That didn't come from Michael Jackson. But 833-212-1017, that is the Truth Talking text line. I'll take your calls, I'll take your texts, but we'll continue the conversation on the other side. But also, there's this controversy happening in pop culture right now that has to do with Meg Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson. And it has me thinking, why do black men hate on black women?
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Join March for Babies to improve the health of families. The U.S. is among the most dangerous nations for childbirth. With your help, we can tackle America's maternal and infant health crisis. Join us in Milwaukee on May 16th at 9 a.m. at Greenfield Park in West Dallas for this powerful community event. Connect with families, friends, and coworkers while raising critical funds. Every step counts. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org.
Discover your new favorite city, Milwaukee. Catch a sunrise over Lake Michigan. Sip your way through craft breweries. And dive into a dining scene that's turning heads. From museums and music to thrilling sports teams and buzzing nightlife, Milwaukee delivers all season long. Good things are always brewing on the Fresh Coast. The expert guides at visitmilwaukee.org have everything you need to fully plan every detail. Whatever it is you'd like to do in Milwaukee. Plan your trip today at visitmilwaukee.org.
Honest, direct, and always thought-provoking.
Even if the system don't make sense anymore. And that's the part we got to be honest about. Education is not a theory. It's not a title. It's not a category. It's a student, it's a teacher, it's a classroom, and there's learning. Everything, everybody else, including the superintendent herself, are secondary. Assistant superintendents, or whatever the heck you call them, deputy, chief of school, everybody, they are secondary if a child's not learning. The student is the number one thing there. So if we've reached the point where the only way to defend the system is to argue that keeping teachers out of a classroom is essential to education, then we're not just confused. We backwards. And when policy, practice, priorities, and money collide like that, there's only one word for all of this: nonsense.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris, weekdays from 4 to 6, live on YouTube and broadcasting on 1017 The Truth.
Real talent is defined by what people can do, not where they learn to do it. So by stopping at the education section of a resume, you might throw away the perfect hire. You might miss someone who has valuable skills to offer to help your business thrive right now and in the future. Because the truth is this: Skills First Hiring helps you see talent others miss, like more than 70 million stars, skilled through alternative routes. When you let their story unfold, you gain a competitive advantage, because hiring managers who start with skills are 60% more likely to find a successful hire. See the real person, complete. See what others miss. Hire skills first. Learn why it's a competitive advantage at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
This is Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Nazir Spencer. Your Milwaukee Brewers put on another show, defeating the Diamondbacks 13-1, with William Contreras contributing 4 of the crew's 14 hits. Brewers pitcher Brandon Woodruff left yesterday's start in the second inning due to a significant drop in velocity.
We've seen it where he came down, his velocity's down early, and then it climbs. We were waiting to see in the second inning if it climbed, but it was down as low as it's ever been. We think maybe some rest can build back up.
Brewers are in Washington this weekend to face the Nationals. The Milwaukee Bucks finally named Taylor Jenkins their head coach. Jenkins will be introduced at a news conference Wednesday, May 6th at 2 p.m. at the Milwaukee Art Museum, which will be open to the public. The Green Bay Packers picked up edge rusher Lucas Van Ness' 5th-year option at a 1-year fully guaranteed $14.5 million for the 2027 season. The Packers also have their rookie minicamp that will kick off today at Lambeau Field. I'm Nazir Spencer, and this is the True Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m.
The Memorial Day sale is going on right now at Steinhoffel's, and honestly, it's the perfect time to get your home ready for the summer. Truth Nation, you can save up to 30% store-wide, plus get amazing deals like a Beauty Sleep mattress for just $3.99. Plus, they're offering Steinhoffel's 18-month, 0% financing, so your dream space is well within reach. Head into Steinhoffel's or shop anytime at steinhoffels.com. Don't miss the Memorial Day sale at Steinhoffel's, Wisconsin's furniture and mattress leader. It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. I am your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace, and we're coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. You can always call in and text into today's show at 833-212-1017. Always invite y'all to watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 101.7 The Truth on YouTube and give us a like, give us a share, and give us a subscribe. And today I'm having a conversation talking about Michael Jackson. I started talking about his daughter, Paris Jackson, who looks like a white woman to me. I don't know if that's his actual daughter, but that is a daughter that he either adopted or when she was born became his, whatever it is. So he is the father of the child. But I was like, damn. She says she's black, which, again, if she wants to identify black, who the hell am I to tell her not to? But I just find it interesting based off her physical features that she doesn't really look black to me. She doesn't. I mean, she looks like a white woman. So I just think it's pretty interesting that she walks around saying that she's African American, when in reality she may not be, and maybe she does have a DNA test that makes her that she did not release publicly. So I don't know. I have no idea, but it's hard for me to get behind. But 833-212-1017. You can call in and text in, just like Al in Sherman Park. What are your thoughts on that? But also your thoughts on at what point do we stop hanging things over people's heads or tarnishing people's legacy when they've been proven innocent? And this is in relationship to Michael Jackson in his accusations of sexual assault that he was found not guilty of. Al in Sherman Park, what's happening?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, Al.
Well, first of all, I find the whole accusation thing distasteful. I think that you need to come to court with some proof. You need some DNA, some soiled panties, underwear. And I'm looking back at one of the most abused children in Hollywood, Corey Haim. And Corey Haim, who hung out with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson didn't do any of that stuff. You know, he hung out with Emmanuel Lewis, and he hung out with who's that Home Alone kid? Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin, yeah.
Yeah, and then I hated that whole Me Too thing because that was just when people start with these allegations, they just pile on, and half of those people would be making stuff up. So I do think you should have some proof. And one of the few things you may not know is that Donald Trump and Michael Jackson were friends. Michael Jackson used to come over and play with Ivanka and Eric and Don Jr. I mean, they're that good of friends. And I think if Donald Trump suspected that Michael was a pedophile, he wouldn't be in that house around his children.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. I mean, you said play with his kids is a pretty interesting way to say it. Could have said just hang out with. There's an age gap.
Well, he entertained the children.
There it is. There it is. He hung out with Donald and his kids. Yeah, play with the kids a little bit. It kind of goes.
But if you want to go make that connection just because people hang out with one another and they must be pedophiles, then go ahead. But I think it is dangerous, it's ludicrous, and distasteful.
There it is. There it is. Thank you, Al in Sherman Park. 833-2. I had to make sure he cleaned that up. Saying somebody, grown man playing with somebody's kids. If a grown man said, "Can I come to your house to play with your kids?" No.
Watch your mouth.
Play with my kids? What you mean? You want to babysit? But 833-212-1017. Again, I'm talking about the fact that at what point do we stop tarnishing somebody's legacy? Again, I'm a big MJ fan, and one thing I've always was against is all this hate that goes towards MJ and the accusations of calling him a pedophile or calling him a child molester when he was found out guilty of it. Again, you can, if you look at the facts yourself and you want to draw your own conclusions, that's fine, but you can't label somebody something that they are not if the court of law said they weren't. I can't call you a murderer if you were found out guilty of murder. Now, maybe back in the 50s, I understand there were times it might be different. Emmett Till murderers, they admitted to murdering him. That's something different. If they said, no, we never did it, no, they literally, after they got tried for it, they said, yeah, we did it. But 833-212-1017, Lisa, I'm interested to hear your perspective because I know you were hanging out and friends with Prince, so I'm sure you have a different lens on the historical lens on the legacy of Michael Jackson. What are your thoughts here, Lisa?
Yes. Thank you so much, Kyle. When you meet a celebrity, Princeton wasn't a celebrity to me no more. He was like a brother, a knowing brother. Okay? When Prince didn't like you, he didn't say a word. He'll just look at you, and maybe 9 times he's going to walk away. Michael Jackson, I don't believe, and I honestly, wholeheartedly believe that Prince will not associate with a pedophile. Prince was very known in the Jackson family, very close to the Jackson family. Matter of fact,
I thought they had some beef.
No, because I asked Prince a lot about Purple Rain, about everything, anything that came to mind. Even about with the politics things. When Michael Jackson would come to Paisley Park, Prince said, and he said, one day I'll meet Michael Jackson here, introduce me to Michael. Unfortunately, they both passed, and, I was not able to meet Michael. But, by him describing him, it was like a friend. And the reason why they didn't do bad was because they know what the record labels want. They knew they wanted these two black men to be in conflict and like there to be a war so they can make more money. So Prince and Michael Jackson already knew what time it was. No, they made up their little stories about, well, I'm not going to do bad because of this or that with Michael or whatever and Prince or whatever. But that was the whole reason why they did not do, that song together, that video rather. And but you have to get into the industry. It's more about the industry. Okay. I don't believe Michael Jackson did it. I don't. And you know what? I'm not there. I didn't see anything, so I can't accuse nobody of anything that I did not see with my own eyes. And that's how I am. I can't judge nobody. I'm not perfect. So why should I judge you?
That's a good way to live.
And that's how I see it.
Listen, I can't.
And like Paris,
I said I can't knock it. Yeah, what about Paris? Go ahead, put Paris back up. If you're watching, go to 101.7 Truth on YouTube. I want y'all to take a look at this black queen. What you think, Lisa? What you think?
Well, I just say, it is, that's Michael Jordan's daughter. I'm saying, it's still whatever, it's still adopted or whatever. But I'm just saying she don't look like the two brothers.
Do not.
They look more like Michael.
Prince Michael the first and second.
Okay, I don't he have two boys too, right?
Prince Michael the first and Prince Michael the second. Mm-hmm. There's two of them. It's the same name.
Geez. Oh Lord, I don't, follow people like that. I'm not a person that, I love your music. I'm into your music. Now, what you do in your personal life, that's your business.
You follow Prince, didn't you?
You just keep doing my music. And, like I said, I follow Prince. Still to this day, I think his birthday June 6th or 7th or something like that.
What you mean?
But I wasn't into his life. We didn't celebrate birthdays.
What did y'all celebrate?
So, we're Jehovah's Witnesses. We didn't celebrate, pagan holidays, Christmas and Thanksgiving and all those things. We didn't celebrate.
What made Prince want to hang out with you, though, Lisa? What was so special about you?
It took about 2 years for Prince to get close to me because, when I met Larry and Tina Graham, they, they would talk to him about my character, because they circle is very extremely tight. And like I told, I call him mom and dad. I told him, I said, look, I don't care who you are. You go to the bathroom just like I do, and you bleed just like I do.
And
so I don't get excited when.
Here's the thing about Lisa is that some people be like, Lisa lying. There is a video of Lisa at Prince's funeral speaking. Like that's why I said at first, I'll be honest, when you first started saying, I said, wait a minute, is this real? And then you said, no, there's a video, and there's a video of you speaking at his funeral, correct? Or is it on two?
I spoke. It was outside. The media, they was at the Kingdom Hall. It was at the Kingdom Hall, and they did not let people into the Kingdom Hall. The brothers there, the brothers that were, monitoring people coming in, and police was everywhere. They had that all blocked up. But the brothers was there, like, oh yeah, let her in. Mm-hmm. So I just parked my vehicle and I went into the funeral. I didn't want to go, to be honest, because I don't like funerals. I didn't want to go. My girl Ursula talked me into going. She worked for Prince, and she always talked me into going to events. I don't feel like it. Ursula, it's cold outside. Well, Prince wants you there. Tell Prince it's cold. Tell him come pick me up.
That's funny. Shoot. Lisa, I appreciate you so much. You have a beautiful and safe weekend. Okay. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and your stories. 833-212-1017. Al in Milwaukee. Is that Michael Jackson kids, and when will people stop tarnishing MJ's legacy?
Well, first of all, Michael Jackson should have never paid them anything. Because first of all, you accuse me of something, you're going to bring some truth. Until then, Michael should have said, to get off these nuts. That's what he should have said.
Oh, wow.
Now,
I don't know if he should say that now. He's being accused of them being on the...
No, he should. That's all right. He should, because he got too fed of him. All right. Now, about the kids, sometimes in the gene pool, some of the kids might come out high yellow, almost white, with the blind eyes. You remember the movie back in the day when the mama was a housekeeper? Mm-hmm. But the daughter looked like her name was Savannah Joe, and she was always up at the truck stop with the land lizards. So you always have stuff like that happen. But at the end of the day, if she is, so what? She came out my nut, so your nut.
No, I'm just saying. Al, if she walking around talking about she a black queen, when she listen to the Drake you wifing up a fake wifing up a black queen.
Well, what if it comes out in her gene pool she is black?
Then I was wrong.
Would it be better if she put on some blue eyeshadow and some feather eyelashes with 30 inches I tied in your hair down
now I feel like you're attacking people.
No, we're not attacking nobody. If she is, she is. It could be something in the gene pool.
It could be something in the gene pool.
I might have a child out there, and he might look like he's German.
Can I ask a question, Al? Do any of the Jackson original grandkids look like her? Or is she the only one that stand out from the bunch?
Well, I don't know. What about the two Jacksons that was banging the same girl? Did she urinate out two kids?
I think she was like not Middle East. She was like Middle Eastern or Persian or something like that, wasn't she?
I know, and she kept it in the same bedroom, not the next bedroom. Sleeping in the next bedroom, but sleeping in the next door. She was all in the door, deep down in the cavity. You hear?
Is there something wrong with brothers? Like isn't Sharon Karen now?
Yeah, but we don't want to go in the same cavity. That's a double penetration.
Oh, come out! Stop it! Get off my line.
This is a sick Negro.
I guess it's my fault, huh? I went too far with Al. But no, it's a fun Friday. What can I say? 833-212-1017. I say this. The moral of the story is when it comes to MJ, it's simply this. I really don't believe that this is his daughter. I don't. But is it his actual daughter? Yeah. I mean, people adopt kids all the time. Whatever circumstances were around him acquiring her as a child or getting her as a child, it is what it is. And I would never tell this girl that that's not her father. Now, yeah, I might question her walking around saying she's black because I am definitely one that looks at people like, I don't know about that. Well, I question things. I do. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. If she go around saying she black and she thinks she black, I can't prove her wrong. And I mean, who cares? It ain't going to impact my day. It ain't going to impact your day. And my whole point with that is this. is that we can't sit here and pick and choose in this society, in this world, of what we want to go along with and what we don't want to go along with. And that is what I'm going to continue on next, is that, yeah, this was a playful show, and I talked a lot of nonsense, but at the end of the day, I do have a point that I want to get to about the moral of the story is we should let people just make their own decisions and identify or do whatever they want to do. It's not our place. So when we come back on the other side, we're going to talk about legacies and forgiveness, and we're also going to talk about choice and why we need to be consistent with our choices. And this would be such a better place, it's such a better country if we just allow for people to be who they want it to be. Because what other people want to be does not impact you on a day-to-day basis. Paris Jackson saying she black does nothing to me. It does nothing to DJ Brother Z, and it does nothing to none of y'all. It doesn't matter. And that is the moral that I want to get to next. It's Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. Make sure you watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube, where you give us a like, you can give us a share, you can give us a subscribe. You can also call in, or we'll take your text at this point at 833-212-1017. When we come back, we shouldn't care what other people think, what other people do, because it doesn't have anything to do with us.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Coming with straight truth.
We can do anything when it comes to being organized, when it comes to making sure that we're active, when it comes to making sure that we're holding people accountable and making sure that we get something out of the deal. Y'all don't know how to make deals. Y'all mad at Donald J. Trump because he's trying to make deals or trying to say that he's the master of the art of the deal. Well, okay, what deals is you trying to make?
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Don't miss one of Milwaukee's favorite summer traditions, the U-Path Ride for Arts, presented by Miller Lite, returns Sunday, May 31st. Ride a fully closed 20-mile course across the Hone Bridge with incredible lakefront views. Kids 12 and under ride free thanks to the Brewers Community Foundation. All in support of Southeastern Wisconsin Performing Arts. 7 a.m. start, finish at U-Path Fest on Summerfest grounds. Register today at upathride.org. That's UPAFRIDE.org.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, may I ask a few questions?
Yeah, of course.
Do you have any pets?
Yes, we have a dog.
Great. Do you have a pool outside?
Nope, just a big old backyard.
Nice. Another question. Are there any unlocked guns in the home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, let's just talk about what we can bring for dessert.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council.
When your team needs custom gear, don't wing it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and More is your local partner for high-quality apparel with hands-on design help and services that actually feel, well, helpful. For your business, teams, or events, Big Frog makes it easy. Visit bigfrog.com/Mequon today.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Hurt by a truck? Call Gruber offices. One call, that's all.
It is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
American Family Insurance is a proud sponsor of the award-winning 1017 The Truth for almost 100 years. They've been committed to helping families protect what matters most: your home, your vehicle, and the dreams you're building every single day. And if you're part of the Truth audience, you already know you work hard for yours. That's why having the right protection in place matters. American Family helps you stay ready for whatever life brings, so you can focus on moving forward. Insure carefully and dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com today. It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace, and we're coming to you live from the American Family Insurance studio. You can watch the stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. And today I was just talking about the Michael Jackson movie that came out and some of the controversy that was around it. I joked a little bit about his daughter being a African American woman, even though she looks very Caucasian. But at the end of the day, I said it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what she identifies as. That's her choice. And it doesn't impact our lives. And so when I think about the decisions that people make, right, if something doesn't impact my life, I shouldn't have a say in it. When I think about folks who are anti-abortion, that doesn't impact my life. Am I pro-abortion? Hell no. But when it comes to the choice, it's not for me to make. It's not the decision for me to make. I don't understand people's life circumstances. I don't understand the medical issues that could come with this pregnancy. I do not know. When it comes to how somebody identifies, it doesn't matter to me. If you identify as whatever it is, listen, it may be weird to me and different to me, but it does not impact my day-to-day. I can still wake up, put my pants on, brush my teeth, and do everything I have to do and go on with my day. That doesn't impact me. But when we start talking about guns and firearms, that's a different story. And so that's why it doesn't make sense to me why some people want to have a say in what people do with their bodies, but then don't want to have a say when you have guns that are killing people. We literally have a president of the United States who was shot with a gun. We literally have a security officer from a White House Correspondents' Dinner that was shot with a gun. I don't understand what it will take for this country to realize that people are the problem and people can't be trusted with guns. And so since you can't kill people, you can't get rid of people, you must get rid of the gun. But that's what I don't understand is why people want to pick and choose what they feel is right and wrong. Just be consistent. Just be consistent. That's all I simply ask. And when it comes to tarnishing people's legacy, listen, I can't tell people what to think. I can't tell people what to feel. But what I will say is this. If somebody was surveilled by the government over a span of 13 years, not consecutively, but over a span of 13 years, if somebody went to court and they were found out guilty of something, in these modern times now, it is hard for me to walk around and say they're a murderer, they're a rapist, or anything. It is. It really is. So I always say when it comes to Michael Jackson's legacy, just let it be. Truly, just let it be. The man been gone for years. For years. Let's just celebrate the happiness and the joy and the music that he brought to our lives. That's what we should just be celebrating. But 833-212-1017, again, that was the Truth Talking text line. Again, thank y'all on YouTube, 1017 The Truth on YouTube. You can still give us a like and a share. But this has been Truth to Power. The Tory Lowe Show is up next from 104 Truth Nation. I love y'all. We'll have a great week and great conversation next week. Y'all have a great weekend. Thank you.